What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Build It video, and today we're going to talk about the Contest of Mayors and epic projects. Now, for most of you, you guys have camped level 18, upgraded your storage, all that good stuff, and you guys are trying to juggle the Contest of Mayors with... Look at that. I just barely missed not hitting level 42 because my dumbass slacked off. Okay, so you guys, give me just a sec to finish this, otherwise I'm gonna forget about it and I'm gonna be really fucking pissed. Okay, I'm back. I finished that. So, you guys, do not forget to collect all of your pass rewards here, because if you don't, within this 20 hours and 27 minutes, you will not be able to collect it, okay? You'll miss out on all that shit that you left uncollected. As many of you noticed, I had gold tokens uncollected, and the reason for that is because, not because you get an assignment for it, but because of the fact that you can only have 35 tokens at one time when you collect them off of your buildings. Now, I've said this in many of my videos, and I've noticed a lot of people still bringing it up in group chat. So I don't know if it just kind of gets overlooked because, you know, maybe they're not at that point in the game, so they just don't pay attention to what I say sometimes or what. But basically, here's what happens. This tower here, this your epic project tower, see how it says I have 55 gold tokens? Until I drop below 34, or below 35, so until I have 34 tokens, I'm going to be unable to collect any tokens off the top of my buildings here. So what I should have done prior to collecting my pass rewards was went through and made sure that I didn't have any sitting on top of any buildings, which I wasn't paying attention, but that was the general idea as to why I left them sit there in my pass, because I knew that if I collected them in the pass, I wouldn't be able to, I would have to use them up, basically. So that goes for any rares too, you know, like if you have any beach deeds or mountain deeds or items like dozer and storage and you're not ready for an upgrade, leave it sit. There's no point in collecting it and having it take up space in your storage when essentially that is a storage, you know what I mean? So definitely something to think about if you're somebody who has a lot of tokens, or you know, you want to be able to, you know, you have a lot of epics and you want to be able to collect those epics. Okay, now, how to juggle the Contest of Mayors and the epic projects. Now, most people that are in my group, you guys are level 24 with a very high capacity storage. Most of you have followed my advice and camped at level 18, upgraded your storage, upgraded your land, so those are not a major issue for you at the moment. If you are a player that didn't follow my building guide and you are somebody who is a higher level, who has very minimal storage, you're definitely going to want to go and watch all of my epic videos and all of my Contest of Mayors videos, because that is going to change the dynamics for you greatly. This video that I'm about to make, I'm going to do my best to try to juggle what type of players I'm giving advice to. There's two types of players here. There's the types of players that are fucked, and those types of players that are not fucked, okay? Like, that's the best way I can put it. If you're a high-level player with a very low storage capacity, you're fucked. You're going to have a nightmare of a time trying to win the Contest of Mayors. In fact, so much so that it's really not even beneficial for you to even play it, because you're going to put more into it than you ever receive out of it. In order for you to run a 2K average, you have to be very meticulous with your choosing of your assignments. A lot of people try to take the easy way and cut corners, or they don't want to pay the cash for the flights and things like that. You will not run a 2K average unless you spend a little bit of cash, or, well, especially at level 18, because here's the thing. At a level 18, you can't do, if you're trying to camp for storage, you're unable to utilize those upgrade tasks. Most of you that are watching this know this stuff by now, but I'm trying to remember that a lot of you guys that are watching this might not know all the stuff that I've previously discussed in my videos. If you haven't watched any of my other videos as far as the contest goes, I strongly recommend that you stop this video and go and watch those videos first, because I don't want to spend the entire introduction of this video explaining something that I've already previously explained. Okay, so this is for more advanced people that have watched a lot of my videos and know a lot about how the contest of mayors works and how to run a 2K average and all that stuff. Taking that into consideration, let's say that you followed the Missy's Building Guide and you are level 24 now, okay? So you're doing your epics. You got a situation here. You have you have your gold, okay? And you have your cash. Now, at this time, most of you probably have an overflow of gold tokens because of the past and the fact that you've been unable to use these gold tokens until now. So most of you probably have somewhere around 100 or maybe even more tokens, depending on how much you've won. And I'm going to tell you that right now is probably a good idea to start using those tokens, but don't use them up really, really fast and don't waste them. When you start transitioning your homes, your epic homes, it's going to take you somewhere between, and this depends on the game and what it does to you, okay? For me, the moment that I had one gold building, it cost me 20. I've seen people say it only costs 12, and I've heard so many different theories, and from EA as well, different theories as to how they calculate these tokens. It's supposed to be based off of however many you have collected. For every 250 you collect, it goes up, and then it caps out at 20. That's the general idea, but that's bullshit, because I've had feeder cities, I've tested it, it's bullshit. Anyways, once you figure that out, okay, you're going to have all these tokens that you are unable to collect on the top of your building until you burn through all those tokens to the point where you fall below 35. As long as you're below 35 tokens, you'll be able to collect token pieces until you hit 35, right? That means that you probably have an overstock of about 60 to 80 tokens, roughly. So think of it this way. Those two tokens, those two pieces of a token, because they're not full tokens that you get, like I just said. So it's not worth burning through 70 tokens to be able to collect two little pieces. You're going to want to use these tokens meticulously. Now, what you're going to do when you run the contest of mayors is the contest of mayors makes it very difficult for you to run your production line very productively, right? So essentially, the idea is, especially if you've watched my production videos, is that you're going to want to run each shop making the highest profitable item. Well, hang on. Well, juggling the contest of mayors assignments. Now, as a level 18 player, or below level 24 players, I should say, it is very difficult for you to make money because you are unable to speed up your production, right? So for most of you, like, let's say that you guys, you don't have, like, for those of you who don't have tokens, what you should be doing is before the contest, and this goes for anybody actually, before the contest of mayors, you guys should be prepping for comm, okay? When I played comm competitively, I didn't have enough time to prep, is what I'm saying. The entire day off from comm, people usually do the opposite. They normally say, okay, this is my time off, and I'm going to make some money, right? If you want to be successful at the next round of mayors, you're not really going to be able to focus too much on making money. You're going to be focused on how to prep for the next round of comm. Now, if you're a lower level player, that'll be easier for you. You're going to need to be on the global market searching like crazy for VU, okay? Because you don't want to end up running out of it. You're going to want to search for any airport items because you're going to want at least one of each, at least. That way, if you get an upgrade assignment or whatever, you can do it. That's saying that you're doing house upgrades. If you have Omega unlocked, you're going to want to leave Omega canisters, you know, cooking and all that stuff. This isn't a comm prep video. What I'm going to tell you guys is this. In order to juggle comm with epics, the biggest issue for you guys for the epics is going to be money. Most of you that have followed my advice, I've had several of you guys in my group the last couple of days do epics, and most of you are doing your epics every 20. You're doing an epic in 20 minutes, about 30 minutes, give or take. That's with little to no prep because you guys have such large storage capacities. You have a huge advantage because of the way that I set up the Missy's Building Guide, because you have so much space that you can utilize versus someone else. Most of the people that are level 24 in my group that are doing epics have around 600 or more storage. So they're able to prep very easily for their epics versus somebody who's a higher level. Here's what you're going to do. First things first, you're going to want to make some money, okay? That's going to be your biggest downfall. Now, what people tend to do is they save their tokens for the Contest of Mayors assignments, which is, yes, a good thing to do. But it would also be more beneficial to utilize some of those gold tokens because you're going to earn a lot of tokens, right? You're going to have this next pass coming up. You're going to earn gold tokens there. You're going to get tokens from other things like the gold chest every week. Sometimes that'll give you one, or, you know, war or whatever, you know. You're going to get gold tokens. And essentially, by you utilizing these more productively to make money instead of just for the Contest of Mayors, you're going to be able to get more gold tokens in return, essentially, by doing that. So, all right, Yoda, CPT, I'm talking to you guys. This is how you're going to do your shit, right? You're going to do the best you can. And you're going to look at your inventory. That's first thing, okay? Look at your inventory. You're going to look at your high tier items versus your low tier. And what I mean by that is both of you have done, I think, like 2 or 3 epics now. Both of you completed your epics very quickly. You did excellent. And both of you noticed what I was talking about when I said the game will find something that you don't have. For the first time when CPT did his, he had a bunch of bread rolls that it was asking for, and he didn't really have any. And as most people know, you don't find those on the global market hardly ever. So remember in my video when I said you're gonna see that one thing that you don't have, you're like, God damn it, I'm gonna have 25 bread rolls next time. Mark my fucking words. And then the next epic comes around, it doesn't ask you for one. Remember when I said that? And then I said, then you're gonna have it ask for 25 tables, and you're like, God damn it, I'll be damned if I don't have tables next time. And then you're gonna stock up on tables, and it's not gonna ask you for one table. I said this in one of my earlier videos. It's going to do that to you. But the good thing is, at your level especially, you guys only have X amount of items unlocked. You don't have very many items unlocked, right? If you look at the entire list of items that you have unlocked, which I have a video on that, and I went through and I made it easy for you guys, and I put up a quantity, a minimum quantity that you want to have of each one of those items. So go find that video, but I'm going to kind of briefly explain here. So at your guys' level, take the highest cost items that you have, right? Which for you guys, bread rolls is going to be one. And then also take the ones that are the hardest to find. You know, don't stock up on things like minerals or brown textiles for stuff like that. Like have about 5 to 10 of each of those just to get those quick points when they pop up. But stock up on the harder to get stuff, okay? The bread rolls, I don't know if you have drills unlocked at your level, I can't remember, but if you do, then stock up on those. Tables, stuff like that. You're going to stock up on those, and like I said, I have a video on that. Once you stock up on those types of things, I want you guys to prep your comm, okay? On the downtime from comm, this is crucial, you guys. On your day off, it's nothing but making money for you, okay? And what I mean by that is not at a normal speed. Me and CPT put together a production plan so he knows exactly what the token guide is and how to read it. And I will show you guys how to do that. But what you need to do is you need to make and search the global market for any brown textiles that you can. Try to run your factories accordingly to make as many brown textiles as you can. Okay. Essentially, brown techs are going to be number one. Okay. That's all you give a shit on your day off. You're going to be finding brown techs. And you're going to run gold tokens on that barn. And you're going to run that barn as much as you possibly can. As long as you have brown techs, you're running that barn. And as much flour as you come up with, you're going to be running donuts. If you're able to be on the game and really like, you know, focused on the game, like not just checking in every 20, 30 minutes. I'm talking, you got to be there and be with it. Run gold tokens on nails. That is going to create a huge chunk of change for you guys. Even if you only ran, let's say you ran 4 tokens on your barn, and then you would need, I think 3 on your donut shop to be able to make all that flour into donuts. Me and CPT had written up a plan. I can't remember the exact digits, don't quote me on it, but I remember we ran 4 gold tokens on flour, 3 on donuts, and I believe we hit just over or just under 100,000 when we did that, I think. Like I said, don't quote me on that, but it was really close to that number. And that was just for the token part. That wasn't including the rest of the day. And it was just for that shop. So if any of you have a copy of our latest production plan, if you look at the chart, you will see where it says token, and then you'll see these type of discount, the time discount that you have on your shop. Okay. So if you have a 2-star shop, you're going to go to the 2-star shop column, and you're going to look at the token in which you have running. So if you're at a 12 times token, you're going to go to that column, and you're going to go over and find the flour and look at that and say, okay, I can make this many flour in this much time on a 12 times token. Okay. Then you can get an accurate number. You're going to make a nice chunk of change doing that and being able to get your epics done. Essentially, what's going to be hard for you guys isn't going to be time, and it isn't going to be difficulty. You guys have already excelled at epics. You know exactly what you're doing. Okay. It's going to be easy. If you end up in a predicament where, let's say you're doing an epic project and it asks you for a shit ton of one item, most of you can come into the chat and we'll help you get out of the hole that you're in. And if you donate like one or two of the buildings, it normally can get you out of that zone where you're stuck. You know what I mean? And it'll start asking for other stuff. And then hopefully by then you're able to complete your epic. But your biggest issue right now is going to be juggling the cost mostly. So what you really should be doing is utilizing those tokens. Don't waste all of your tokens on the contest of mayors. Okay. Yes, you are going to need them, but you have plenty of tokens and you're going to continue to get tokens. So trust me on that. You don't need a stock of 100 tokens. I know they're valuable to you, and I know that you want to keep them, and I know you want to spend them wisely, and that's why I'm telling you to spend them wisely and fund your epics. The best way to fund your epics is going to be through production, and the best way to do that is going to be to speed it up. If you run your shops at a normal speed and you are doing the contest of mayors 6 days a week, you're going to go broke. You will. Eventually you will go broke. Okay. $200,000 isn't shit when it comes to doing epics. After a couple epics, like let's say you had 1 million coins, right? After, I want to say 3 epics and 2 rounds of comb, you're going to be broke. Okay. You're going to be in this situation where all of your shops are running stuff for the contest. So you're not making money as much as you would be. And you're donating these items in such mass quantities to these epic projects to where you're going to go broke, and you're going to be in a situation where you get an epic assignment and you're not going to be able to do it because you're so broke. So what you're going to have to do is then you're going to have to waste precious time during the contest running stuff to make money. Don't wait for that to happen. Do it before the contest. Do it on your day off. Do it on your downtime. Let's say that you're doing the contest of mayors and you know you have like a 2-hour downtime for an assignment. Most of you don't stock up your production line because you know better than that. Clear that shop out and get those tokens running. If you got a 2-hour downtime, be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to make flour for 2 hours, you know? Utilize your downtimes. That's going to be number one. Number two, I know that you guys are in a hurry to get these epics done, and it's exciting getting them done in 20 minutes, but you're going to have to pump the brakes a little bit, okay? This was always my hardest, this was always the hardest part for me. And you guys, it's going to be hard for you because I know you're going to want to be like me and keep donating to it and getting it done. So here's the thing. You don't have regionals unlocked yet, right? So you can't do an epic project back to back. You have to wait for that timer. Once you complete an epic project, you go over here and saying that you have a fully upgraded home. You're going to go down here and you're going to click on this tower and there's going to be a timer right there at the top of the box here. And it's going to tell you how many hours until you can do your next epic project. So let's say that you get a task for the contest of mayors that says earn 50 or 60 epic points for 2,400 points, right? So you're like, okay, I need to do that task. You need to keep your 2K average going. So that task is crucial. So you start your epic, right? And you start your task and you hit 60 points. And then you say, fuck it, and you proceed on and you finish your epic. More often than not, after about 2 or 3 assignments, you're going to get another epic assignment. And you're going to have to wait 24 hours before you can do it. What would have happened if you would have waited, if you would have only donated the 60 points that you needed, you would have been able to do that second epic assignment when it came around because you would have waited. You have 24 hours to finish your epic, right? Now, don't wait till the 23rd hour by any means. You know what I mean? But you don't need to get it done in 20 minutes when you could potentially be getting another assignment. Now, I've had it to where I've gotten, and this happens all the time. It's not a fluke that this would happen. This happens all the time where you get 2 or even 3 epic tasks, okay? It is crucial that you pay attention to how many points that you're doing. Now, back in the day before they had upped the points to 200, you were screwed. You know what I mean? So like, let's say you had a 60 point epic and then you had a 40. Then you were okay but you had to donate them in even numbers because if you even went over it by 1, you couldn't finish your task, right? So pay attention to exactly how many epic points you have left to make sure you can complete your task. If you do a 60-point task and then you wait and you get another 60-point task, that's going to bring you up to 120, right? You can still do another 60-point task and have 20 points to spare. The game didn't used to be like that. So wait and hold off before you finish your epics because you will get more epic assignments more often than not. Maybe not every time, but you will, okay? So that is very crucial that you don't finish those too early. Definitely prep for them though. You know, look at what you need and try to collect what you need and hold on to what you need. That way you have it whenever that assignment comes along, you have all those 3-pointers able to be filled up. The other thing is what's going to be the most difficult for you guys is when you open up your game and you're looking at your assignments list and you're saying, okay, in order for me to do this 2K average, I have to do, this airport shipment and I have to do this production task. And what's going to be difficult is the production tasks are going to ask you for materials that you would have otherwise liked to keep, like maybe a lot of your text that would have went to making flour, maybe it's asking you to make shoes or something, right? So definitely you're going to want to stock up on raw goods like the ones that are harder to get, like textiles, for example. You know, you can always find metal, wood, plastic. Most time you can find chemicals, but definitely stock up on the feed and the techs. Those are going to be very important. Your biggest downfall is going to be money. Okay, that's going to be the hardest part for you. Epics are going to be a cakewalk as far as finishing them early. And you guys have gotten a lot of practice with the whole, you know, earning a 2K average when it comes to the calm thing. But as you progress on, like back when you were level 18, there was a lot more downtime between tasks because you couldn't do your production tasks very quickly. And that left you with a situation where you had a lot of just sit time, where you just sat and did nothing and just focused on other things because you're waiting on this, you know, 20-hour assignment or whatever. Don't worry about that so much, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to be into a more fast-paced zone because now you can get those tasks done sooner. So really, you're not going to have very much downtime. So a lot of people will see things like, how did this guy jump 10,000 points in 10 minutes? That's not that unbelievable, you know, especially when you're looking at a higher level player, because most people, especially if they're not running a 2K average, it's very easy to jump points like that. They look at their assignment list. They do 3 of their assignments before they hit the start button. Like, let's say they had 2 production assignments, some upgrade assignments, and some launch war attacks. They make sure that they have all the stuff done, ready, and, you know, ready to go. They hit start, they collect those points, they hit start, collect the next points. That is not a good tactic because you want to run a 2K average. It's good to have them prepared, but don't just collect on them just because you had them completed. Most of you know this. But for a lot of people that try to add a lot of points very quickly, they tend to be the ones at the top of the leaderboard at the beginning, but fall way off at the end. Okay? It's not about the start, it's about the finish. People get way too excited in the beginning and they try to make an impression on the leaderboard, and it doesn't mean shit, because at the end of the contest, they will be bumped down. They almost always, the person in first never remains in first. The person that took a few more minutes out of their day and added those extra 200 points on this assignment, another 300 points on that assignment, another 100 points over here, all that shit adds up, okay? And it's going to bump you down. So be patient. But like I said, juggling the contest and your epics, for your level, you're in an excellent spot. You have the storage space to prep. Be on the hunt for, always try to keep your storage well stocked. Now, a lot of people, they just kind of do whatever, whenever, however. You too, CPT, Yoda, you guys are not like that. I know that. You're going to be, this is what you're going to do. You're going to make a list of all of your items that you have unlocked. You're going to look at that list and you're going to break it down into categories of difficulty when it comes to finding it on the global market, cost, right? And basically the difficulty in finding it or making it. Like something, basically you're going to make out of the list of items that you have unlocked, put all of the easy to find items and easy to obtain items on one side, and put all the harder to find items on the other side. When you're looking at your storage, if things like paint, ladders, bread rolls, make sure that you have a minimum of 20 of each of those, at a minimum, okay? 30 to 40 would be preferred. Now, yes, you're probably going to do an epic and it's not going to call for one bread roll. But you know what? You aren't going to sell those bread rolls. You're going to hold on to them for the next time, because eventually it will. And you'll have them available when it does. Okay? Make sure that you keep a stock of those items. If you notice, like, maybe this epic took 10 of your bread rolls, right? Well, you know that making bread rolls is less profitable than making donuts. So in order for you to make bread rolls for your epic, you're going to have to cut into your money-making time. This is why it's crucial for you to run your tokens. You have to run your tokens. If you want to fund these epics and not go completely broke, you're going to have to run your tokens. Preferably, you guys should never fall below 1 million coins, preferably, okay? Never start an epic if you don't have a minimum of 200,000, just to be safe. And that's at your level. That bar is going to go up if you're a higher level player. There's no doubt in my mind that you will always finish your epic. You will never be in a situation with the amount of 3-pointers and storage capacity and the help within the group. You will never be in a situation where you're not going to be able to finish your epic. Okay? Because you're going to come on, if it ever came to that, and you're going to ask me, and I'm going to give you items for free. But you'll know for next time, okay, that's not a good thing to do, and I want to be more prepared. I seriously doubt I will ever see either one of you end up in a situation where you're unable to complete it, you're flat ass broke, you have no items in your depot. I don't think that's going to happen because you're not those type of players. You know, you prepare. Prep is everything. Money is everything. Time, when it comes to time and stuff, Yoda, CPT, think about it. What is your hardest battle right now when it comes to juggling the contest and the epics? It's not the time that you're spending on your epics because you're doing those fairly quickly. Now, I had to think about this for a day or two to make sure that I was going to put in enough information in the video for you guys. But after I started thinking about it, I'm like, you know, they're doing great at the contest. They're not really having trouble running a 2K average, and they know how to choose their assignments. So I think the hardest part for them is going to be cost and just being able to fund everything. And because you're not going to have very much downtime to make money, you're going to end up in this situation where you're doing comms 6 days a week and you're trying to do an epic every day. And if you're only bringing in, all right, look, on our production plan for a level 18 player, you bring in a maximum of around $87,000. And that's if you're running all your shops accordingly, perfectly, right? If you're doing the contest, or first off, just based off of that and doing epics, you're not going to be able to keep up. If you were to, let me put it to you this way. Let's just hypothetically say that an epic costs you around $150,000 in goods. Now, a lot of people, when they calculate how much the cost of their epic is, they take the cost, the coins that they have total before starting, and then they look at the coins that they have total after completing. That is not an accurate number. In fact, that really shouldn't even be thrown out there as anything because it means absolutely nothing, right? You have to essentially, and I'm really interested. I'm actually going to be doing this for another video, you guys. I'm going to be, I have one of my epics recorded, but I really want some level 24 players to record their epics with one of those screen recorders like what I use to make the videos. And I want you guys to record it because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find my video where I did an epic in under 20 minutes. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to write every single item that I donated. And I'm going to tally it up to get a number, right? That is going to be the for sure cost of your epic plus whatever that you paid to start it. Now, let's say this. You guys have 600 space, okay? You have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in product in your storage that you're donating. Right? So you pay $1,000 to start your epic, right? And then you donate $400,000. Let's just say $400,000 worth of, product. And you only had to buy $20,000 worth of stuff off the global market. That epic did not cost you $20,000. Nowhere near. You know what I mean? Now, if you were purchasing everything and then donating it, then that would be an accurate number. But you can't have a 600 storage depot full of items that cost money and not account those in your cost. That, you know what I mean? That's not an accurate number if you don't do it that way. So essentially, I've done, and I'm not even playing you, and I've seen it done. Back before I had regionals unlocked. I made it a goal of mine I wanted to do an epic project without ever having to buy one thing on the global market. And I was able to do it, and I did it in 5 or 6 minutes or something. Now, again, this was before I had regionals unlocked, and it was also before they upped it to 200. Now, I do believe that it's still absolutely possible if you don't have any war items in your depot and you don't have any storage items or dozer, like saying that you've cleared if you don't have 200 of your space taken up with rares, that's going to make a huge difference in you being able to complete that. So if you're well stocked, you'll be able to complete those epics in no time at all. So time is not of the issue here. It's going to be money. If let's say that you're bringing in $87,000 a day on a perfect day of making money, but your epics are costing, let's just say your epics cost $100,000 and your income is $80,000. You're going to be in the hole. You're not going to be able to keep afloat. Now, up until this point, you guys have had a nice stock of coins. And as you're seeing, it's depleting very rapidly. Maybe you started with about $1 million and now you're down almost below 200,000 after a couple of epics, right? You're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to do epics every day while doing comm every day and running a normal production speed. You will not be able to fund that. It's not going to happen. Now, you can do it for a while, depending on what your stock of coins is, but what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to figure out a way to fund these epics. You need to be able to bring in, first off, you need to figure out what the general cost of it is. So I really want you guys to download a screen recorder on your next epic, and I want you to record your epic and then, post it or send it to me or whatever. And I'll go through and I'll tally up, or you can do it, doesn't matter. And we'll see what they cost. And I want to compare yours to his and see if there should be like a general number. Once you do that, you'll be able to say, okay, I know that I need to bring in at least this much coins a day to be able to stay afloat, right? So what that means is you're going to have to figure out a way to ramp up your production speed and ramp up the items in which you're making. The best items for you, the most beneficial way for you to do that would be to get your hands on as many brown textiles as you possibly can. You should make them back to back. Make a batch of brown tex anytime that you have any downtime in the contest at all. Okay, if you know you have a 3-hour window of downtime, make those brown tex. If you don't, and you're going to bed or whatever, make brown tex before you go to bed. It might not be running 8 hours, but it's going to give you more money. You see what I'm saying? Because the next day, you're going to wake up to those brown tex, and you're going to be able to run a token and make flour, and it's going to get you more money in the end. Now, you're going to have to sacrifice some of these gold tokens. But I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot spend a token any more productively than what you would be doing it for in that aspect. Think of it this way. When is a token valuable to you? When you're making money or when you're doing an assignment to make money, right? You have plenty of tokens to fund your contest of mayors. Even if you use 60 of your tokens, you would still have 50 left, and you would still be getting a consistent supply. You know what I mean? A supply of them. They're going to keep coming in on every pass. So essentially, by you ramping up your production to make money, you're also able to more easily play the contest of mayors and get those epics done. Every time you convert a home to an epic project, yes, it might cost a lot, but eventually it's going to pay for itself. That home is not only a very low service demand home, it looks nice, and it's going to give you that token piece forever. So at some point, it's going to pay for itself and some. You know what I mean? You're adding a constant flow of times 12 production, essentially. So here's the thing. Anytime you can run tokens on nails, nails are the most profitable item in the game, hands down. You know what I mean? Like, as far as making money goes, and they're a pain in the butt, yes. But they definitely, I guess the reason I say that they're most profitable is, like, if you compare the per minute value to other things, yes, there are things that turn a higher per minute value, but they normally require like 3 or 4 steps to be taken, you know? So like this one is just a raw good to a one item. That's 1 step or 2 steps. Other things like smoothies, you know, they count 3 or 4 steps or whatever it is, because you got to make the raw materials, then you got to make the shovels, then you got to make the saps, then the melons, then the smoothie. There's several steps that have to be taken into place. So people will look at the per minute value of something and they'll say, well, you know, this per minute value is higher than this per minute value. But what you're not accounting for is all of the other things you could have made in all those other shops had you made something that took less steps. And that's really where it comes into play on what to make, you know? People think that they can just look at the list of items and say, okay, this one makes a higher per minute value, so this item's better to make. You know, for example, ice cream is a perfect example for that. Ice cream is an excellent item to make when you have the bread rolls and the cream already purchased. If you have to make the bread rolls and the cream, that changes things. Burgers are another one. People make them constantly, but they literally, they take money out of every single shop, and you don't realize it, you know, because you're not thinking into like how exactly it's affecting everything. For example, to make a burger, you have to have a beef patty, right? Okay. You have to have a cream to make the bread roll. You have to have flour to make the bread roll. So you've just cut into your production of flour to make all those items. And beef alone takes 2 hours. Cream takes 1 hour and this is a 3-star shop. And then flour takes 24 minutes each. So you've lost tons of revenue in the barn. Then you go over to your donut shop where you would normally be making donuts, and you lose a shit ton of profit there because now you've got to make bread rolls. Okay. Then you got to go back to the barn and make even more cream. We're talking about burgers. So no, then you got to go over to your hardware store where you would normally be making hammers to make chairs. And you got to make spats. And you got to take those spats and cut into your TV production to make barbecues, right? So now, because you've been making spatulas, you don't have any tape or hammers. So you're cutting profits in your fashion store as well, and your furniture store. So you've literally just lost money in every shop. Oh, and your garden shop, because now you can't make anything else either. So the building supply store, I'm pretty sure it's about the only one that's not affected by burger making. But essentially, I mean, it's just not worth it. And the cost of the damn thing alone, I mean, it's a ripoff. It's an absolute ripoff. You would be better off taking that bread roll and purchasing a bread roll and purchasing a cream and making an ice cream over a burger. You know, most of you know this by now. But essentially, your number one thing is going to be figuring out how to juggle your tokens. Okay? That is going to be the trickiest part for you guys, because you're going to want to run these tokens. Let's say that you ran, let's say you ran 4 tokens a day on the barn and 3 on the donut shop. That would be 7 tokens. Okay? And I know that we wrote this up. I'm going to pull those numbers and I'll send them to you guys in the group chat. I think I have a token guide video. I don't know if it's up, but I know I have one written up like on the computer, and I'll have to look at it. But I know that you have to decide how many hours you're going to be on. But your biggest problem is going to be finding enough textiles to run these tokens. Now, essentially, you can figure out exactly how many flour you can make on a 12 times token, right? And I believe it's 20 on a 12 times. I'm pretty sure it's 20. That's for a 3-star shop though. Okay, so like I said, it's in the production guide. All you got to do is go to the column and look at it and see. But anyways, once you do that, you'll be able to say, okay, if I can make 20 flour, then I need 40 brown tex, right? So, well, you know what I mean. So you need 2 for 1 bag of flour. So you're going to have to multiply everything by 2 and make sure you have enough seeds and textiles. And then once you've done that, the textiles, like I said, they're going to be the hardest part. But you can also, here's the thing, a lot of people will run tokens in several shops. The reason I don't recommend that is because think about it this way. Take all your shops, right? And look at the ones that make the best, highest profitable items. So if flour and donuts are your main moneymaker and nails, then you would say that you would want to use your tokens on those shops. Because yes, you could run them on TVs. Like, you don't have TVs unlocked, but let's say I had a 12 times token, right? And I had the choice between using my token. I already have one running on the barn and I have one running on the donut shop. Now, a lot of people will just say, fuck it, and they'll start running gold tokens on every shop at once. The reason I don't recommend that is because you could have made a lot more money if you would have waited. For example, let's say I was to choose to run a 12 times token on TVs versus donuts, or versus flour. My gold token would have made a lot more money if I would have made a second round of flour versus TVs. You see what I'm saying? So definitely use them wisely, but that's going to be the biggest issue for you. Making money is not going to be an issue during the contest anymore because you have tokens. But if you're not using your tokens, it is going to be an issue. There is no reason why you shouldn't be able to do all of your assignments and be able to make money at the same time. Like I said, the trickiest part for you is going to be finding a balance of how you're going to produce all of these things. Now, I can't give you advice on something like that because I don't know your play style. I don't know how often you're checking in on your game. I don't know what you're making. I don't know how many of what you normally keep. Now, if it were me, I would be making brown text all the time. Okay? Aside from when, let's say a batch gets done and I'm able to, run some metal and plastic and things. The issue, though, is only run brown text if you know you have a 3-hour downtime or you're going to be off the game. Otherwise, what'll happen is you'll start brown text and you'll get an assignment that you need your factories for. And you'll have to wait 3 hours and you can't afford to do that. So if you're playing the contest, only do that on your downtime. Now, let's say that you have some downtime and you've already got your text running and things like that. If you guys are planning to do an epic, you're going to need to be well stocked. I would definitely keep in mind what you need and keep a well stocked. So like, let's say that you fall below, let's say you have paint, right? And you fall below the 20 that you need. So you're 5 short. I would start trying to find that shit. Maybe ask somebody in the group or, make a couple if you can or whatever. Don't fall behind because what's going to happen is you're going to fall behind a little bit on every item. And next thing you know, an epic pops up and your storage is all out of whack. You know what I mean? Like, you want to keep up on that. If you take one out, put one back. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, like I said, you're going to get an epic and it's going to be like, well, fuck. Now I only got 10 paint and 4 this and 3 of that and whatever. And next thing you know, your entire inventory is fucked. So always keep track of your inventory. Like I said, I know it's going to be hard, especially for Yoda. Okay, I'm talking to you. I know these are your like precious gold tokens, and I know you're going to be wanting to hold on to them with your life. Okay, I just know, but you're gonna have to let go of the gold tokens a little bit to make some money, to make more tokens. Just spend it wisely. I have no doubt in my mind that you guys won't do excellent. You know, it's just going to be finding the balance for you guys and just figuring out what works best for you based off of what time you spend on the game. Now, some of you play the game all day, every day. Some of you work, some of you check in X amount of hours. So it's going to be different for everybody. But for those of you who are on the game quite a bit, you're going to have a much easier time than somebody who checks in every couple of hours, right? So definitely find some time out of your day. And even if you have to put a timer on it, and like, let's say that you did, let's say you run a 12 times token on your flower. Do a timer and figure out exactly how much time you have before you need to refill your shop again. And, 5 minutes before your timer's up, jump up on the game and refill it. That way you don't have to sit there. Now, if you're doing nails, that's going to be impossible, right? But you can make a really pretty penny doing nails. And they sell really fast. I don't know why more people don't do it, personally. Especially if you're sitting on the game anyways. But definitely try to see how that works for you. I would say you need to set a designated amount of tokens that you for sure are going to use each week. Especially on your day off. On your day off from comm, it's going to be nothing but making money for you guys. Now, yes, you're going to want to prep for comm as well, but lucky for you, as a level 24 player, what do you have to prep for? You have your production tasks, right? Which you're going to be prepping for already, because that's what you're doing, really, when you're trying to make money and prep for epics. So essentially, all you really need to prep for at your level, because you're not going to be doing those earn simoleons assignments, and those are really easy to get done anyways. You're not going to be doing the upgrade assignments, so you don't need airport, right? So essentially, all you need is items for your shipments and like your war stuff and your epics. You're not going to have any more expand city. So you're going to want to find VU, money, and product. That's going to be your main prep. Actually, probably your only prep. You have plenty of cash left over. So your 3 focuses are coins, product, and, well, you already have the cash. So coins and product and VU. So those are your focuses. What better way to make money and have product than run tokens, right? So as long as you have a steady flow of VU and a well-stocked, I try to have about 50 of each just to be safe. Typically what'll happen is you might get into a situation where it asks for a lot of VU. You can buy it with cash. A lot of people don't know this trick, but I'm going to show you guys in this video. I've shown it in other videos, but like I said, people seem to watch my videos and maybe forget just because I give so much information at once. But essentially what you're going to do, and I can't show you 100% because I have these repairs that need done. Actually, you know what? Here, if I can get them done real quick, I will. Okay. So what you're going to do, let's say that you don't have a VU item that is needed. Okay. See how it says I need 1 remote? Put like that. You're going to click it over and it's going to say 20 cash. So that's what you need. If I was missing 2, it would say 40. They're 20 cash a piece for any VU item. But here's what people do. And this is how they end up really screwed. For those of you who have the Neo Mall unlocked, they go over here and they hit purchase on the Neo Mall. And they don't have enough Neo coins. So the game prompts them and says, pay this amount of cash for the remaining Neo coins. And Neo coins cost a lot more than VU. It can cost, let's say I was like 6,000 short. It would be like 100, 200 cash or some dumb shit for the difference. And you could have just paid the 20 cash. So don't be one of those people that falls for that, okay? Some of you, I had a girl in my group, and she was always buying, VU from the Neo Mall. And she's like, I just paid some X amount of cash to get this stupid remote, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, then the Neo coins, I didn't have enough, so I had to pay for the difference. I'm like, oh my God, you should have just went to the tower. You know what I mean? She didn't know that. So definitely something to remember. And for those of you, another tip, especially if you're going to be running for the contest, here. If you guys have, let's say I had a SAPS assignment and I'm working on something else, so I don't want to collect those SAPs yet, you're going to click a different store and hit the arrows and cycle through, and that way it will allow you to lay more down without having to collect. Now, you can only do this up to 11. If you have all 11 slots, you can only do 11. You can't have 11 done and 11 making. It's maxes out at 11. But if you have, let's say, 7 of them and you wanted to put up the other 3, that would be an easy way to do it without having to start the assignment. Another thing, when you guys do your flights, if you pre-pack these boxes, this new shipment button will disappear. So what ends up happening is people pre-pack the box, they're unable to find the other items that are needed, and they want to request a new shipment, and they can't because now they have to wait for the timer. Okay? Don't do that, right? If you are somebody who is relatively new to the contest of mayors and you're kind of having difficulties understanding how the leaderboard works and how the prizes work, definitely check out my COM leaderboards video. I go through a tutorial on all that stuff. I am going to go ahead and end this video. If you guys have any questions on how to juggle the contest of mayors with the epics, I will do my best to answer them. But like I said, I brainstormed on it for several days to kind of try to put myself at your level with your specific difficulties. And you guys, honestly, what I've already said is the best that I could come up with. It's just going to be finding a balance on how to make that money and fund everything, because essentially, let me put it to you this way. If you had, let's say 10 million coins, answer me this. If you had 10 million coins right now, would you be having any difficulties juggling the contest of mayors and epics? Probably not, huh? You're probably going to be like, well, no, if I had 10 million coins, I wouldn't have any issues, right? That being said, it tells me that your biggest issue is money. You know what I mean? So that's what you focus on. If that is your biggest downfall and your biggest issue, right? Then that is the problem you focus on. And it's very easy to earn coins in this game when you know what you're doing, when you know how to make your items. And if you can the biggest problem with people in this game is they're always broke. And like I've said many times, once you control the spending, you need to control the income and the income and the outcome. If you're spending more than you're making, you're gonna have a problem. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, they spend a lot of money on stupid shit like water and sewer and roads and all this stuff. Once you cut those costs out, then you need to focus on your production line. I can tell you more often than not, people will just make whatever, whenever, however, for no reason at all. Okay? They don't put any balance. They don't try to plan anything. They're like, oh, it's just a game. I'm just going to open it and half-ass it. Then there's people that strategically and meticulously plan, and those people are the ones that end up being very successful. Now, there's going to be times in the game where you have to make items that are not profitable because you're going to want to keep those items. That's the whole point. So when I have paint, it's not because I found it on the global market. It's because I made it, and I made it on tokens because I need it. So if somebody's in the group constantly asking for it, I'm probably not going to post it for them. You know what I mean? Because it's like, dude, I had to spend fucking tokens to make that shit, and you're asking me for 5 of them every day just so you can make whatever you want. You know, if it's for an epic, I don't mind, right? As long as you're not somebody who's donating it to 1-pointers and 2-pointers, then I'm more than happy to help you, you know? But definitely you are going to have to look at your stores here. And there's going to be times where you have to make items that are not profitable, okay? That they're items that you're going to need and keep. So if you're prepping for your next round of epic, and you're like, well, I know that I don't have very many bread rolls, right? I know I'm not going to find any, so I'm going to have to designate some time making them, which means you're going to lose a little bit of funds from doing so, but you know, it's something that it's kind of something you have to do, right? So definitely try to find the balance in making the items that you need and making the items that you sell. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you are not using your tokens, if you're running your production at a normal rate, you will not be able to easily do the contest of mayors and epics. You will go broke. And you will end up flat ass broke. You definitely have to sacrifice those tokens. And you know what? That's what they're there for. So you're going to get, look. We got 13 here. Let's see. 7, 4. I think that was gold, yeah. That's silver. Has a llama on it. Okay, so we got 7 and what? What did I say? 13? So that was what? 20 tokens? 20 gold tokens? Yeah, just from the pass. And we do the pass every, what? Like, it's like every 30 some odd days or some shit. 27, 35, I don't remember. But essentially, you're also going to have those buildings that you're the epics that you're doing, so you'll be able to start collecting those. Okay, so don't worry about spending your tokens. It's not the end of the world. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and end this video and try to get it out for you guys. If you guys have any questions or you have something specific, just ask me in the group when you see me. Okay.